Welcome to Bench Points. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If it's your, I don't know, second, third, fourth, or you've not missed an episode, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you very much. Let's go ahead and tip things off, and we're going to get right into it. I got to hear about how your experience was with Purdue versus Auburn. Obviously, the score shows a lot, but give me the deets. You all were there in the flesh.
Auburn looked pitiful, if I'm honest. There was nothing I liked about that game. It was like, I mean, I don't know what was going on if Purdue just played amazing defense on Pettiford, but it looked like he never felt good, never was comfortable, and then Auburn didn't look for him. Easily your best player on the floor. He takes 7 shots, 5 of them from like pretty deep threes too. They just nothing seemed to flow right. I mean, even Keyshawn Hall was like, they went to him early at first, and it was good, and then just went away from him. I don't know. There was nothing positive to say about Auburn there. And I mean, Purdue did Purdue things. I mean, they had a decent shooting night. They got some guys that step up with Benter 3 for 3 and Cox hit 4 threes. They played well. I mean, they matched for like Fletcher. Fletcher was off all night. It looked weird. First time I think I've seen him miss that many shots in that arena. But Auburn could do nothing with Trakoff and Red, nothing with like any of the big guys. I had no clue what they were doing with Braden Smith. He got to coordinate that game exactly how he wanted, whenever he wanted. It was just Auburn looked pitiful. Is what I came away thinking.
Yeah, so obviously it's in Indianapolis. They call it Mackey South for a reason. This was definitely a home game for Purdue. The crowd, obviously, we were there for the Butler Northwestern game, which that was actually kind of a fun game. It turned into kind of a little scrappy dogfight that wasn't very high scoring. I mean, I think we spent the entirety of that game doing the math of what they're going to wind up being because it was so low scoring that we can do it real quick.
It was bad.
But as that game ended and the start of the Purdue Auburn game started, you started seeing the black and gold walk in and all that fun stuff. The intros were all like the Purdue intros. They did Sandstorm at halftime for the Lance dance. They did Beat 'em Up during the intros. So it was very much a Mackey experience in an NBA arena, which anytime you've ever gone to Indianapolis to watch a Purdue game, that's what happens. I will say this about the game. Purdue effectively got whatever they wanted whenever they wanted to do it. And Braden Smith was a floor general. I mean, I think they were calling him point god during that. I'm sorry, what was that?
But didn't he have like 14 assists, something wild?
He was on triple-double watch in the first half. I think he had 4 or 5 rebounds, 7 points, and 8 assists in the first half. He was basically doing whatever he wanted. And every time they tried to put pressure on him, he would do a skip pass. And as Jake mentioned, you had some guys step up. Benner 3 of 3 from 3-point land. Jakari Harris was 4 for 7. CJ Cox was 4 from 6. So you got the bench scoring, threes at will, and then you're starting shooting guard that's not named Fletcher Lawyer, shoots over 80% from the 3-point line. I mean, you're going to win some games doing that. It was the quietest 28-point win, though. There was
the crowd was quiet for most of the part of it. It never got loud or rock because Auburn was never in the game. I
think the first 10 minutes, it stayed like a 5 to 7 point game. And then it was just like this quiet creep to oh shit, they're up 16 points. And Jake at one point, just kind of watching Auburn play, said, to the group that we were in, he was like, I don't think Auburn knows they're getting 20-pieced right now. And then it was, 2 minutes later, it was 30 points. And you're just like, none of it felt like a kill shot. It was just this gradual beatdown. And it was so methodical, it almost was like more embarrassing for Auburn, I felt like. Really couldn't have come at a better time because Bruce Pearl just came out and said, oh, we bitch slapped them last year. And I guarantee you that was in their locker room. I guarantee you those Purdue players remember that game. They know that statement. They came in and look, we're not out here to win. We're going to demoralize you. And it wasn't going to be like one kill shot. It was going to be a death by 1,000 cuts. And that's exactly what happened out there.
I mean, you all made 12 threes. Purdue made 12 threes, and 11 of them came off guys that you're not counting on to get double-digit points.
No.
between Cox, Benter, and Harris. Like,
Yeah.
they hit like your only 3 from a main score, like your main shooters was Braden Smith hit 1, and I think he hit it early, and then was like, I mean, he didn't really shoot that much, but like didn't
They
need
need
him the rest of that. Like, it was, he said, I stand by that point. I don't know that Auburn knew what the score was. There was no urgency, no effort, like no extra, like, oh, let's clean this up. It was just getting
you get
whacked the whole time.
Could you get a vibe for what Stephen Pearl's demand or what his presence was with the team? Like the
I think-
personality. Does that make sense?
I don't think he knows yet, and
Yeah.
it shows. Like, and you can look at Auburn's season and watch them get like yo-yo. They'll beat somebody by 30 and then get beat by 30. Like, he doesn't know what his groove is and how to, like, because I mean, he may have recruited some of these guys, but he wasn't the coach. He wasn't the corner piece of the recruiting, so he doesn't know how to communicate to them yet. Like, it shows, because like their offense really didn't accomplish much.
No.
I mean, Overton scored 22, but it was a very inefficient 22, and the shots were tough shots. It's not like it was beautifully offense, and he was just finding himself wide open. I mean, 8 of 18, the team shot 36% from the floor. And it's not like Purdue is a nasty defense. They're a good defense, but just
It frustrates you. Like
yeah, like it's like they're top 20 to top 30 defense. Like, it's not like
right in the 16, 17 area on KenPom and Evan Maya.
yeah, like
Yeah.
so if nothing to laugh at, but they're not like, you're not running to Houston or like Tennessee or something where it would make sense to get shut down like they were. This was just bad.
One, you mentioned Overton. Overton was like just like an okay lit candle in a really dusky, dark room for Auburn. Like, he did play well. I was very impressed on how he contained Hall and Pettiford. Although Pettiford did get hurt, he stepped on one of his players' ankles, like, kind of like trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do with what Braden Smith was dictating there. One guy in particular that I think we all need to call out was Trey Kaufman-Renn. His bag was so deep in that game. He was doing some shake and bake. And I think they, like, at one point, they're like, triple team, dish it off, didn't matter. TKR went up, but they got the bucket on some crazy angles. Like, the angles he was creating for some of those shots were just like, why are you shooting that? And then it was in, and we're like, oh, yeah, TKR is the beast. Jeff, who was with us, he came on with us on the Tuscaloosa trip too. He was just, what is he doing? And then like, oh my God, he's the best player in the world. it was kind of fun to watch. But TKR, like, obviously Braden Smith from like dictating the pace of the game, where the ball was going to go, who it was going to go to, who was going to make shots. I mean, he really controlled that game, but TKR did whatever he wanted to do. As soon as he got the ball, like, there was no 2 players on the court that could touch him.
Yeah. I mean, it got to the point in like 5 minutes into the second half, Purdue's wasting clock and working it to him and letting him just go to work. Like, there was no, they were like, all right, we've established we're the dominant team. Stop us. And they couldn't.
They couldn't do it.
Auburn said no chance.
Yeah, couldn't do it.
Yeah, the go to work, jump up for TKR, kind of let him do his thing as they were talking about.
Yeah.
And that's the best kind of TKR you can see. I think, like, he's so fun to watch when he gets in that zone and it's open for him.
But I mean, it's with Clough and Jacobson, it's been a little bit tougher for him because he doesn't need to be that guy that scores 20, 24 points. But like, Clough and Jacobson do draw a lot of attention. Here, with Jacobson in foul trouble and Clough played all right. I think he shot 50% from the floor. He had an air ball layup. He rebounded okay. But there was times where it was TKR and Benter on the floor, and Benter was drawing his guy out. And so it was just like, pick your poison. Like, Benter's hit 3 for 3 from 3. You could sag down on that and open him up. You could drop down one of your guards, but outside of Fletcher Lawyer, everybody else was hitting their shots. So he was getting a lot of ISO and a lot of like drop double teams that he could just pick apart. So,
well, ultimately, I'm glad you all had a good time, and it resulted in a beatdown. I hate to say it, but actually, I don't care. I'm just not a big fan of Auburn in general. But anyway, I feel like that Purdue went in there and defended themselves, and there's the Indy Classic, right? And they call it. Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
it used to be the Crossroads, and IU backed out of it under Woodson. And so now it's
great decision for him.
Yeah. Purdue basically finds a power conference school to come down and play in Indianapolis with an exchange of like, we'll go to your neck of the woods, I think Auburn and Purdue played in Birmingham last year.
Something like that.
Something
or maybe
like that.
Atlanta. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it was definitely a pro Auburn crowd. So, but they agree to these 1-on-ones, kind of like what Purdue's doing with Tennessee, doing like a home and away. It's like a home and away semi-neutral. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad y'all got to go to that.
yeah, it was an absolute blast.
So our next game here on the slate of games is the Arizona-San Diego State game. Imagine this. I know this is a shocker, breaking news. Arizona was somebody's daddy.
I mean,
This is a
it took
tale of
them a
two
minute.
halves. This game was 100% a tale of two halves. Like, I think we got to watch this game kind of like in between a bar and in a car ride.
Yeah.
And then had to rewind it to figure out what the hell exactly happened. Because, like, I mean, if you just look at the box score, you'd be like, okay, Arizona had a terrible first half, and it was just, I don't think Arizona had a terrible first half. I think Arizona and San Diego State had terrible performance. Like, it was just an ugly, awful, disjointed game. And then the second half, Arizona remembered that they were Arizona and won the quarter 40-18. Like, there was like 3 kill shots in the second half where you're just like, oh yeah, this game's over. And then like San Diego State would get a bucket and be like, okay, well, maybe San Diego State's going to show some signs of life. And then Arizona was like, no, we're going to put our foot right back on that throat. So, I mean, it was methodical. That second half, like, if you had any questions on who the number 1 team in the country is, like, the second half shows you it's Arizona. And then you watch what Michigan obviously did to the poor bye game that they got. Just absolutely dismantled them, scored another 100 points. But this Arizona team, I mean, I've admittedly hated on them early in the season. I didn't think some of their wins were impressive, but I mean, they're just they decided that game was over and it was over.
I mean, San Diego State has been a disappointment to say. Like, I think is the best thing you can say this year so far. They have not played well, and these big games where everybody thought, like, hey, watch out for this mid-major team. They could be one of the ones that sneaks in and does it. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, they went 1 of 14 from 3 in this game. You had BJ Davis, who was supposed to be a lot of help coming back offensively, went 1 of 12. There's nothing. I mean, you can obviously look at the score when you put up 45 points. It's not a surprise that offensive stats are going to be terrible, but there was nothing to hope. There was no hope. Like, that first half was just mean, but I mean, it was only 27 points. It's not like they went nuts in the first half. They scored a very low amount for like Arizona's 28 points in the half is bad for them. The way that game watches you, like 27 was about as much as San Diego State could hope for in a half, and then they proceeded to just get their tails kicked the rest of the game. And this was the most impressive part of this with Arizona to me. This was just an even beat. Like, there wasn't somebody who went nuts and had 20 or 30. Like, I think the leading scorer had 11.
Yeah. Owaka was 1 free throw away from being the 6th player with the double-digit points.
Yeah, it was just monstrous. And Owaka, ever since that flagrant foul and whoever Arizona played last, he's decided that every rebound is his.
Yeah,
I know.
Another 15 boards. Like, that dude is just a monster. And he's out rebounding the 7-footers on his team. And he's 6'8". Like, it's impressive what he's doing. He's only had 2 fouls this game, which is very impressive because he typically walks in the building with 2 fouls. So this is like a great sign if you're an Arizona fan, because it's like we played about as bad as we could have offensively, and for a half, and then we're pretty good in the second half. And you still won by 21 over what's going to be a decent resume win. This is like, you've got to be feeling really, really good if you're an Arizona fan. This has got to be an exciting year.
In San Diego State, they shot 7% from 3.
Yeah.
7.
1 of 14. Yeah.
1 of 14. I could do that math.
Yeah, I think you could. There was a halftime thing where this guy was shooting. He had to do a layup, a free throw, and a 3-pointer, and I'm fairly certain he played for San Diego State. He wasn't hitting any of that stuff.
It was rough.
Good. That's a good one.
No, to Jake's point about Owaka, obviously a rebounding beast. Glad that he's not in the SEC anymore. It's just tired of just every time Purdue plays Tennessee, I'm like, here's Tobey Owaka again. So, but the rebound war, 52-28, that is belt to ass.
Yep.
Arizona had 20 offensive rebounds. It felt like any time, and Arizona missed a lot of shots. I think they missed 36 shots. So They missed 36 shots and got 20 of them back.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to win you some ball games.
100%. All right. I think it covers that one. Yeah, I saw that 7% number, and I kept thinking I was looking at the wrong line. I had to keep adjusting myself there. But this game was really back and forth. The Houston-Arkansas game. Houston ultimately came out with a win, 94-85, for the Never Forget Tribute Classic in Newark. So that was kind of an interesting location for this matchup.
This was I don't know what the right word is, the not what I was expecting Houston game. I think they led comfortably most of this game, but like Arkansas would flirt with coming back. I think Houston, what was their largest lead of the game? I can pull that up here real quick.
Closer through. I might be getting my games mixed up.
Largest lead was 21.
21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it never felt like Arkansas had a shot to win this, but it also never felt like Arkansas was fully going to go away. And this Houston team, known for its prolific defense, had just an offensive explosion, and absolutely no defense was played whatsoever. Like it was weird. And like I was watching some post game about this, and they're like, well, Houston's defense did do all right. And I'm like, no, they didn't. They gave up 85 points on 49% from the floor and 40% from the 3-point line. The points in the paint were damn near even at 36-38. The turnovers were kind of manageable. The rebounds were exactly the same. It was just like Houston was a better team. It had nothing to do with them having a great defensive night. If they didn't have the offensive output that they had, I think we're telling a different story here.
Yeah, this Houston team is a very confusing version of Houston.
Right back.
The defense really just hasn't been there like normal, like you expected. Like everybody was, the line coming into the year was, Houston's returning all these players. They get the stud defense, and he's got a top 25 recruiting class, or top whatever it was. This Houston team is going to be killing it, and they've really not.
No.
Knight Jr. has been a bit of a disappointment compared to the hype. Kingston Flemings is the reason they're doing as well as they are. That guy has been a gem.
Yeah.
He 6 rebounds, 5 assists to go with his 1 turnover and 21 points. I mean, like, he had a freaking game. And I've long said it with this Arkansas team, the supporting cast, everything about this team, the supporting cast, and everybody was like, oh, they're returning all this, blah, 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 was way overblown. And you can tell, like,
yeah. Yeah.
Pringle.
UM stepped up with 20 points, but 10 of those are from the free.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Richmond had 12 points, but he also made some really bonehead plays towards the end of the game.
Yes, he did.
I still think the Arkansas they've done better than I expected them. I still think it's way overblown. But this game in particular makes me really question all the hype for Houston. And I don't it's seeming right now that the Big 12 is Arizona's, and somebody's got to take it from them. It's not seeming like it's an even battle with like several good teams. It's like it's Arizona's, and somebody's got to step up and take it from them for that to be a different consideration.
Yeah. So, I'm with you on this, Jake. Like Arkansas did show some signs of life from the bench. I mean, obviously getting 30, 34 points from the bench is a good thing, but it's hard to figure out what kind of team they want to be. And then this Houston, I was watching so many post-game videos about how Houston's elite and like, oh, we should have never written them off. I mean, like, I don't think anybody was writing them off, but I think like your top 3 teams, Purdue, Florida, and Houston at the preseason, like all kind of had some question marks. Like I think Purdue's shaken off their double-digit loss to Iowa State. They got 3 straight blowouts. Houston, though, it's just been like, their wins are kind of impressive, but it's not the typical way you see Houston play. And obviously Florida's, we'll talk about Florida and Lee here in a little bit, but it's just like you got some pundits out there that are just like, oh, we shouldn't have done this or we shouldn't have done that after they get one win. Like it's like Kentucky getting a win and everybody's like, oh, they're back, they're national championship contender. It's like, nah. They like I watched that whole game too, and they're not a championship contender. But more to come on that.
I'm just look at this box score. This Houston doesn't have a lot of depth this year, and Uzon and Sharp, Uzon, Sharp, and Fleming's all played 30 plus minutes with Uzon playing 39. Like, I don't know that that's a recipe for success
No.
with the intense way that our Houston plays. It works better for slower paced teams, but with the way they play defense, I don't know how much gas in the tank Uzon's going to have come February if he's having to go nearly 40 minutes a game. And they've had 20-point leads in this one. Like, that's what's shocking to me. You were up 21, you still had a guy, like, you end up winning by 11, so you needed him, but, like, why did you need him to play 39 minutes in a game that you were up 20 plus? Like, that's shocking to me. But I don't know. I come away from this game like Arkansas is kind of who I think they are, but Houston, they're not elite to me. They're very good, but they're not elite. Like, I'm dropping them off that tier that's like, oh, Final Four and championship contender is like maybe Final Four kind of level, but
Yeah, maybe. One thing I want to just a slight pushback on the Arizona might be all, or Big 12 might be all Arizona. They do have an absolute gauntlet in February, and I want to just kind of highlight this here real quick. February 9th, they've got Kansas at Fog Allen. February 14th, Happy Valentine's Day. You got Texas Tech at home. And then you got BYU at home on the 18th. Then you have at Houston on the 21st. And just when you think it's getting easier, you got Kansas again on the 28th, followed by your first weekend in March. You got Iowa State.
They play Kansas twice in February.
Yeah. They have a murderer's row for like 30 straight days. And I'll tell you, like they'll have the opportunity to have the most quad one wins in the history of our sport. Like, or they'll get out of that maybe 500, maybe a little bit better, which is what is likely going to happen because that's just an absolute gauntlet schedule there. But I think that stretch for Arizona will determine their seeding because right now they're a clear number one. But if they can get through that unscathed, they're the number one overall without question. But that's going to be murder row February right there.
it's a rough get. It's a rough draw. And that was one of the reasons I was kind of lower on them at the beginning of the year for like winning the Big 12. The Big 12 is going to be a gauntlet, and that schedule that they have does them no favors. Like, you couldn't work in a West Virginia or Cincinnati or UCF in there, like in that stretch. That sucks. I still think like right now, I mean, BYU is the only one that might hold. Like, you could maybe talk me into taking off the reins for the Big 12, but to me, it's Arizona's, and somebody's got to do something to take it from them.
Yeah, I think Iowa State's there. I mean, they have done little to prove otherwise. I mean, they just dog walked every team that they played. So definitely going to be
forget they're in the Big 12 sometimes.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, they pop in and out of relevance so much.
Correct.
But right now they're extremely relevant. But this Arizona team, like, obviously we started this talking about Houston, and like here we are, like, boomeranging back to Arizona. But I mean, like, somebody prove me right, like season, please. I'm tired of watching this Arizona team just like absolutely murder everybody that I say have even a remote chance. So. It's just what's happening.
Well, so probably one of the closer games, like for real close this time, not like I said earlier and flubbed it. Sorry, guys, I'm not feeling good. I feel like I've not been feeling well for as long as Darren Peterson's been hurt, which has been for forever.
Time to shut her down.
I know. Yeah, right. I got to shut it down.
Hey, we talked about that a couple weeks ago, that might happen. That was a strange possibility, and here we are.
Here we are. So the North Carolina-Ohio State game, North Carolina squeaked this one out 71-70. You know, Ohio State had a late push. Just wasn't quite enough. He held their own. So Wilson is that guy. Played really well. Unbelievable, actually. He had 20 points, 15 rebounds. Love that. That's pretty impressive. I don't care who you are. It's the same thing for Visar. Is it Visar?
I think, I don't know.
I see Vassar, I think the country music singer, every single time. Could not be any more different of human being. But that game-winning dunk with 7.2 seconds left was huge.
That ball fell into his lap too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So definitely, Ohio State's going to be a problem. They're going to be a nuisance for a lot of people. I think they made themselves known, and they're going to be seen very differently on the schedule for the remaining schedule.
The biggest thing here to me is, one, I told y'all there was going to be a night Thornton's going to go cold and that then Ohio State's going to lose. He wasn't exactly cold, but he didn't hit a 3. He went 0 for 4.
His first half was
So,
cold.
So yeah, I mean, but the biggest thing to me that stands out as soon as I look at the box score is 0 points off the bench for Ohio State.
Yeah.
They got nothing. 0, 4 rebounds and 3 assists to 3 turnovers. Their bench did them no favors. I'm not sure it was even worth playing them at all. But shout out to Caleb Wilson. Like, I thought Tilly would give him a little bit more trouble than what it was, but I mean, 20 and 15 and did it fairly efficiently, and 3 blocks to go along with it. Like, he needs a little more love nationally for how good he is playing. I don't know that he's getting enough love. I mean, this is a hard one to get a hard freshman class to get shine because there's so much, but he deserves to be up there. We need to, drop a few other guys off and give this guy some more shout.
Jake, you said it. The Ohio State bench, you got 40 minutes out of the bench that got you 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Like, if you have a group of folks play 40 minutes and they get you that production, you're not going to win games.
I mean,
the starters all handled business. I mean, as cold as they were in the first half, I mean, you got 11, 18, 12, 16, and 13, and a lot of that came in the second half. But this game was 100% all North Carolina in control until, like, Bruce Thornton went full Bruce Thornton. We had that crazy 28-footer right there at the end of the game. It was an and one. And Ohio State took a 3-point lead with less than a minute left in the game, and you thought, oh, yeah, this is and just went full Ohio State. It's like a dog chasing a car that they finally caught up to it and they didn't know what the hell they were doing with it. So they just kind of let it go. And it was, and then the final shot of the game, none of it made sense. The last possession didn't make sense. The turnover at half court, like, you have a timeout to burn your timeout. It just didn't make any sense. And I think that comes down to, I hate saying it, I think that comes down to coaching. And Hubert Davis is on the other end of that aisle. And as much as I don't want to credit him, he kept a team that was like, they had a plan. They did that pressure defense. They had Ohio State on the ropes with the lead, and Ohio State didn't know to call a timeout. It's what it came down to.
That was shocking. And I mean, shout out Seth Trimble, first game back since the dumbest injury possible. Not that he did anything stupid, but how somebody not tie down that machine or whatever it was in the weight room? Like, how is that not all the way down? Because these guys are moving real weight. But 17 points, 6 of 13 shooting, 3 of 5 threes. Like, he never missed a beat. And, like, I mean, the guy's a very, very good defensive presence, and was a big reason Thornton, like, they were chasing Thornton off the 3-point arc, and that worked. Like, I've been a big Hubert Davis hater. There was a game plan to get Thornton off the 3-point arc, and it worked. I mean, they still screwed around and should have lost this game. I mean, Ohio State takes a 3-point lead under a minute and gets a 10-second call because they can't figure out to, one, either throw it to the other end of the court, like get somebody over half court, or call a timeout to reset the clock, like when you had one, like in the last minute or so. Like, that's unacceptable. The point guard play for North Carolina worries me if I'm a Carolina fan and I'm looking forward, because most of your assists came from bigger, like Vassar led the team with, or Vassar, however you say his name, with 5 assists, and Evans scored 0 and Bogovac scored 0, like 2, and both, like, his 2 points are off free throws. Like, there's not a ton of depth there. So that would worry me a little bit. If I'm in Carolina, you got to be feeling better than what you were, because I don't know that anybody outside of Carolina fans saw them coming in this year and being what probably will be a top 10 team after, like, for the next week or so. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. They're still not an analytics darling either. That's the crazy part. They're 22nd in KenPom. Like, they're not moving the needle really from an eye test and a smell test. They're just winning games. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the analytics say and what the numbers say and all that stuff. If at the end of the game you have more points than the other team, that's what goes up in the books. We can talk about KenPom all we want. We can talk about Evan Maya or Mia, and we can talk about Torvik, which are all not big fans of the North Carolina basketball team. But at the end of the day, they're 11-1, and their only loss is to a top 10 team. So
yeah, I was swimming around some trying to do some research. Ohio State, really, their bench hasn't been relevant all season.
Yeah. That when they get into Big Ten play, I mean, that will work to an extent against some of the weaker teams, and then you'll give teams like, I think you'll give like Illinois, I think you'll give Michigan State some fits, but it's not going to work against deeper teams like Michigan and Purdue. And I don't think it'll work against Illinois or Michigan State, but they're more susceptible to that.
Yeah.
So
All right, we got to rip the Band-Aid off, Jake.
You act like I wasn't on the right side of this. Like, I told you to take Texas Tech with the points. I said this is a terrible matchup for Duke. Act like I didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, no, this. You definitely did. Texas Tech pulled off the upset, taking down Duke 82-81, and in MSG, which is always, I feel like that's always stings a little bit more. In a lot of ways, I feel like there's been so many killer games at MSG this season. Like that's been the spot, which is kind of a beautiful thing for basketball nerds like us and other folks on the bench. What thoughts about this game?
I'll let Sam take a run at it first, and then
I'm going to keep my little bit of this short and sweet, and there's a reason for that, and I'll explain it right now. We had started at 12 o'clock in the afternoon between playing darts and watching college basketball, watching Kentucky, St. John's, and then, having some
Pops?
some adult refreshments pretty consistently throughout the day. By the time we got back from O'Reilly's, which is right across the street from Gamebridge, got back to our buddy's place to watch the rest of the Duke Texas Tech game, I was in a state of inebriation. So not saying that's, a thing to be proud about or laugh about or anything like that, but, facts are facts. So we don't hide from them. And so I'm watching this game, and Duke is in control the entire time. And like Texas Tech never felt organized. And then I thought it was maybe a fever dream what was happening, but Texas Tech just stormed back, and Christian Anderson and JT Toppin to an extent.
Yep.
He got some good buckets to fall, but it was more Christian Anderson.
Yep.
Just kind of like took over. And dare I say, like the timeouts that we saw Duke call, there was poise on Texas Tech team with a very erratic coach, and there wasn't poise on the Duke bench with a very level-headed coach. Like it felt like Shire was a little bit erratic, and it, like at some point, hey, we need to stop the bleeding, and he didn't. And so at the end of the day, Texas Tech won this game, but I think it's Duke that lost it.
Yeah, I mean, they had a 17-point lead, and they should have been able to hold on. But the whole issue, I was said the whole year, Duke's guard play is going to be the death of them. And you had, of your starting three guards, Caleb Foster, Isaiah Evans, and Nicholas Kaminia, 2 assists to 3 turnovers. Like, we had 15 assists in the game, and 11 of them came from Boozer Nagomba. You can't run your offense with a 2'6", 8 and 6'10" guy dribbling the ball at the floor. I mean, this is the whole issue. Caleb Foster can't shoot free throws. He's a liability at the end of the game. And that's why you're starting to see Boozer play more and more. If Boozer figures out, like Caden Boozer figures out defense, he'll get out there more. Right now, Caleb Foster's a better defender. And, I mean, you saw that. Like, Texas Tech beat us with 3 guys. You had Toppin, Lamotts, and Anderson. The rest of the team was not existent, and they didn't beat us from the 3 line, really. I mean, Anderson scored, I think he hit 5 of them, but it really wasn't that big of it came down to Duke at the end of the game has to play through Boozer, who is not the best ball handler, nor should he be. Well, Cameron Boozer, that's what's sad is they need him to be able to also bring the ball up the court. And it's crazy. Nobody else really helps scoring wise. He goes for 23. Everybody else, the Boozers combined for 36, and everybody else is under 10 points. It's just, they've got to get something out of, like, other than shooting the ball. And Evans has been cold the last handful of games. Evans, Foster, Sarr, and Boozer have got to step up and figure out how to play offense outside of shooting the ball. Because, I mean, of those guys I listed, 4 assists and 2 turnovers. That's not going to get you anywhere. They've got to have more moving the ball around. And I know the assist number is going to be a little bit of a lie because you're playing through Cam Boozer, and depending on how the scorebook takes it, if he takes 2 dribbles, the assist goes away, even though it's a good entry pass, stuff like that. But you've got to get more in the fast break where it's easy buckets, where it isn't Boozer having to make two to three moves, take a shot, get his rebound, and then go back up. Like, they've got to do something there. Shire, man, I thought you would have learned a little more of a lesson on how to end games over the last couple of years. And this might be the guard issue that he just doesn't have yet, but there's starting to be a pattern here that Duke can't end games. They can't figure out how to beat very good teams at the end of a game unless they are up 10, 15, 20 points. Like, this is starting to be a little bit of a pattern, and it's starting to worry me that he hasn't got that figured out yet.
Yeah, that is definitely concerning, because that does seem to be like in big games, that seems to be the Achilles heel of Duke, and it's not something that's gotten better. It used to be my chief complaint about Matt Painter is like, you get into a big game and he couldn't figure out how to make the right adjustment to finish it. And I think that's what we're seeing with John Shire right now. One thing, Jake, you brought it up. If you look at Texas Tech and you see whenever they've won games, it's always been JT Toppin and Christian Anderson. And they've lost games, the chief complaint is somebody else needs to show up, because you can't be just two All-Americans doing everything. If they can get production like that out of one other guy, then I think there'll be a problem for everybody that play, including the Big 12. But we got to get some consistency out of that third person in Texas Tech. Because that was a highlight Jake brought up. When Watts scores 20 and he doesn't hit a single 3-pointer, that's good production, because he's a 3-point shooting guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the bright spot of Texas Tech is having a third guy show up.
I mean, this is also, like, if I'm Texas Tech, I'm not exactly should be thrilled that you beat Duke at Madison Square Garden in like a spotlight game. But you shouldn't be comfortable, because one, you had two guys play 40 minutes, and one of those, and then Watts' minutes would have been a lot higher if it wasn't for the foul trouble. You had 9 assists to 11 turnovers. It's not going great. Like, I mean, you barely out rebounded really Boozer. So, like, you shot outside of Anderson, nobody really shot well from beyond the arc. He goes 5 of 9. The team is 7 of 22, whatever that math is. It's just, I wouldn't feel comfortable, because you got 11 points off the bench, on a bench that like had to play because of foul trouble, not because like to breaks. Because this is, I mean, and I'm assuming we missed the first part of the game. I'm assuming Brian got hurt because he only played 3 minutes as a starting.
Yeah.
I would not feel comfortable if I'm Texas Tech, especially when you're looking at the Big 12 and you got teams like BYU, Houston, and Iowa State, Arizona that you've got to go through. Running guys out there 40-plus minutes a night is not.
I will say this about the start of that game. What an absolute struggle for you and I, Jake, for two people that watch basketball on their phone, on the laptop, and on their TV at the same time, to go into a bar that's got 5 TVs on JMU, Oregon.
Yeah.
And our phones were dead.
I asked nicely for the game to get put on in the TV closest to us, and they turned it to JMU, and I went, "Oh, good. This is what I wanted."
Sweet. It was but you know, I blame my alcohol allergy on everything that was happening. I was asking the bartenders to charge my phone behind the bar. And luckily enough, as a season ticket holder, I see those folks all the time because it's right across the street from Gamebridge. So they were able to help us out, but it was just an absolute struggle. And I think, yeah, to your point, I think we got the game on about 5 minutes left in the first half and then watched the entire second half.
I was really hoping, like the last podcast, we were, I know I really was kind of thinking the St. John's, Kentucky game would be something more special, but neither team is special. So how did I expect that?
Hated watching that game.
It was silly.
I love college basketball. Let's rank my things. My wife at Carson, my lawnmower, college basketball. I mean, those are the top 3.
Props to the free throw shooting in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams shot over 80%, and boy, did they shoot a lot of free throws.
We were, 2.5, 3 minutes into the game without a field goal?
Oh, it was bad.
Bad. I did not like watching what I watched.
I know it was questionable if Kentucky would score 20 points in the first half.
Yeah.
It was bad. And all of a sudden, the second half happens, and maybe I sold Quentin short. Maybe he is the Kentucky god of basketball that's returned to save him.
Yes.
Because he played very well. Still not offensively talented, but St. John's, I mean, that's a whole different conversation. I couldn't get him out of the way. He was cleaning up everything, and I mean, OA was the only other option. I mean, this was just a pitiful offensive game and what should have been a lot of fun to watch offensively. This was bad, and St. John's is in a lot of trouble. A lot.
Yeah, I'm with
Like,
you.
missed the
So
tournament trouble.
yeah, St. John's looked rough. Like, I'm not going to say rough. They looked like a not good basketball team, and they haven't looked like a good basketball team most of the year, which obviously kind of opens up an avalanche of some other games that have taken place that we have to call into question now. But in Kentucky, I mean, if they have Quaintance and Lowe healthy, I think they might be uh, SEC contender. Might. Quaintance was plus 18 on the game. I mean, that's real impact. On limited minutes being plus 18, that's real impact. Lowe, he went out with a shoulder injury earlier in the first half, and we thought, oh, yeah, they're dead in the water. And then he came back and was on fire. I don't know if they did the varsity blues treatment in the locker room and, you know, whatever was happening, but he came out and I will say that I don't know how to verbalize what I'm about to say about Kentucky without either pissing off somebody or making somebody happy. Kentucky doesn't seem like a good basketball team that's a good basketball team. Like, or maybe it's the other way around. They sometimes seem like a good basketball team that's not a good basketball team. That's a bunch of word salad. That was the most Kamala Harris thing I've ever said in my entire life. But like they just don't look good in anything that they do, but they're getting some wins here lately. So keep Kentucky on your radar. If Quaintance and Lowe are playing, I think Kentucky can do something special. If not, I think Kentucky is just a not good basketball team as well.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's still no shooting on that team.
No.
Even with those guys, and it's bad. They're not careful with the ball either. I mean, they turned the ball over 16 times. They rebounded St. John's, but that's like saying they out-rebounded us. I don't know that St. John's has out-rebounded anybody yet this year, and it's like, and that's where the game came out in the second half. They were a little cold. Both teams were a little cold for the entire game, but like even for them, they were cold. Kentucky was cleaning up their misses, and St. John's couldn't get more than one shot, and it was a bad shot most of the time. I mean, your second leading scorer scored all of his points for the free throw line, went 12 of 12. St. John's is broken really bad, and if I thought Pitino would be able to put this together, glue them together, it's questionable if they make the tournament at this point. I don't see anything special about this team, and if they do, it's a very low seed that's going to be a common one to get picked off.
Yeah.
It's
But this goes back to like the preseason rankings not meaning a damn thing because
top five.
What was our preseason top five? Purdue, Houston, Florida, St. John's, UConn.
Yeah.
And right now, UConn and Purdue are sitting on one loss apiece. Now, albeit both to top programs, like their losses are in the top four teams, so they're handling business. Houston's got a loss that kind of dropped them down a little bit further. But Florida, St. John's, I mean, meh so far.
Well, speaking of Florida, let's go ahead and plug Xavier Lee right here. Still got another game to take a deep dive on, but Xavier Lee has been finally hitting his stride a bit.
Yeah, welcome to college basketball. I mean, he 3 games in a row. Hey, if we're going to be hard on somebody, we got to give them their flowers when they're good, and he's figured it out. Boogie Flan still hasn't figured it out, but just having a guard that's competent, this Florida team looks a lot better because the front court was great, and everybody knew that, and they played like they were great all year. It's just they needed something from the backcourt. They're finally getting it. Florida looks a lot better than they did earlier in the year when Fland and Lee were just struggling to dribble.
Yep.
So the last game to kind of wrap up the deep dive segments, but we got to work in the Michigan talk, though. They've hit a pretty awesome stat. But Vanderbilt Wake Forest was hoping a lot more out of this game.
Yeah.
And wow. Okay. Vandy did. I hate this. Okay. I hate this a lot, but this was a dominant win. I mean, this was impressive. Wake Forest, they definitely, I mean, they might not have the record to show for it, but they've had some really close games, some big wins. For Vanderbilt to go in there and take care of business like that, it says something.
I mean, maybe Wake Forest got confused about the colors. I don't know. Like this is, I mean, maybe they thought Tyler Nickel was playing for them and got real confused. I don't know that he took a covered shot.
8 of 10.
He just lit them up. I mean, everything went right for him. Duke Miles played well. Tanner, Tyler Harris. Shout out to Colvin. Dude was the only body, like him and Harris are the only two guys that showed up for Wake Forest. And
yeah, Colvin's on
neither were
fire right now.
Yeah. I mean, Colvin with the double was nice. But I mean, Harris was okay too. It's just, I've not seen this Wake Forest team since, why can't I remember his name? Coach Wake Forest. Used to be on Tennessee's bench.
Forbes.
Yep. I've not seen one of his teams ever, even the ones he's been the assistant to, struggle to move the ball around and just be locked in. I mean, 8 assists, it was all solo ball. There was no Vanderbilt locked him into that. And you see, like, that's why the shooting percentages sucked so bad. And it just was terrible. Wake Forest couldn't do anything. This is after coming off the overtime game that Vandy looked terrible and that a lot of people had them like were rising up the rankings and stuff. And then that one looked bad, but this one just like kind of hit reset on that because this was dominant. That was bad.
Yeah, so I'm going to say the lamest thing that you guys have ever heard, ever in the history of anything. Give me nickel with those dimes.
Yeah, there we go.
I
like that.
I mean, I watched the game and then I watched the highlight video of nickel and he just absolutely tore ass tonight. He did whatever he wanted whenever he wanted to. And like I think he might have hit the rim twice. Like they were net ripping swishes. When you're on a kill shot and you hit a shot that makes that much noise through the net, you know the game's over. And he was on an absolute tear for Vandy. I'm still not sold on Vandy. I know they're net darlings and they're analytics darlings right now, and they have played some recent decent competition. I think Memphis is relatively decent because of the way they play. They make you kind of question your own sanity. And then Wake Forest, I think, is a very talented team that have, lost some really tight games. So Vanderbilt might be for real, and the SEC is kind of wide open right now. So this is a team to keep on the radar.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. This could be the time for Vandy to make a move in the SEC.
What a year for Vandy in sports. This is,
yeah.
I hate saying it. It tastes bad, but
yeah,
they're up there at the top tier of the SEC right now in basketball. Like I'm not sure if Tennessee's in the win the SEC tier, but Vandy sure is.
I will say, like, Tennessee's got a couple losses that have you scratching your head where Vanderbilt's undefeated, but also Tennessee's got 2 of the most impressive wins in college basketball this year.
Very Jekyll and Hyde situation here.
Yeah.
So we gotta shout them out, like I mentioned. But Michigan with their 6th game over 100 points.
I want to, because I know we talked about KenPom earlier. Just a little thing about Michigan. They are like almost a full 4 points ahead of Arizona from a net rating. It's just insane. What we're seeing out of, I would say, the top 3 right now, Michigan, Arizona, and Iowa State is just some like analytic anomalies. I'd like to see Hammer's trapezoid of excellence come up here. One, I want to see if Purdue's kind of crept their way back in it. And unfortunately, I think Kentucky's won a few games that have allowed them to stay in that area, which is going to drive me nuts. Arizona, Michigan, and Iowa State are almost breaking that model with how well they're playing.
Yeah, like, I mean, they kind of pointed this out last time we put that out. Like, Michigan might become so efficient at this point, they break that trapezoid because, like, it is unreal what they're doing. Like, offensively and defensively, they are one of the better basketball teams I've ever seen play. Like, it is just moving and grooving. I mean, they put up over 100, and your leading scorer was 17. It is a balanced attack that comes from every which way and just dominates. I mean, I didn't think, like, I thought Mara was going to be a good piece. Did not know that he might outshine Lindenberg all year. Like, it's crazy. Like, Cadeau was playing well. I mean, you've got a great coach. They're playing everybody. I mean, golly, they're shooting nearly, like, in this game, they shot nearly 50% from beyond the arc. It's just, everything is so good on this Michigan team. And I don't see it stopping. Like, they've done it on bad teams. They do it on good teams. And it's like, real what's happening.
They've got McNeese, USC, Penn State, Wisconsin, Washington, Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Nebraska, Michigan State to finish out in January.
Yeah, they're giving out equal opportunity lefts and rights right now. I mean, they're belt to ass on whoever is unfortunate enough to play them right now, and maybe they come back down but they're a matchup nightmare for damn near everybody.
We were talking about KenPom. Like he doesn't have them playing a game under 15 till Michigan State at the end of January. Like he's got all the like 15 or more point wins for everywhere you look, home and away. I mean, I don't know that he's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know that he is either. I mean, yeah, at Penn State, it'll be a night, it'll be an evening PM game, but still, I'm sure that'll be a whiteout, or maybe not. I don't know.
It will
I
be.
mean-
Oh, it absolutely will be.
They're gonna need that and
Thing.
God to come back and to have a chance to stay in this game. Like it's
Yeah.
oh,
That they're gritty though. That's one thing I'll say. Like that Michigan State Oakland game was a lot closer than a lot of people thought or hoped, which kind of gave me a little bit of like kind of morale boost being a Purdue fan. Like Purdue beat Oakland by 10 without Traycop and Wren, and Michigan was playing with a full slate and edged them out by 9. Shout out to the sweater game because that was probably the best part about watching that game. Otherwise, it was pretty ugly, but yeah, this Michigan State team is kind of confusing. Where I think if they go to Breslin and it's a wide out against Michigan, you get some of that Izzo magic and maybe something happens. But right now, I don't know if I don't know what is enough to beat this Michigan team, and I'm starting to feel the same way about Arizona and kind of sort of about Iowa State. I still think the Iowa State game, like if Purdue shot even remotely better, I think we're having a completely different conversation about the top tier teams. But yeah, it's Michigan and Arizona are just right now they're on a different level.
it's not fair at all.
So typically, we preview games that are upcoming, but with it being Christmas week, pretty slim pickings.
Yeah. Happy
There's
bye
not a lot
week, y'all.
happening. Yeah, that's right. Bye week games, Christmas cheer.
All these teams deserve, like they deserve to go celebrate their Christmas with family because I don't think there's a top 25 game from Christmas Eve to like a couple days after Christmas. So just go watch some mid-major teams get ready they get you a little higher up for March Madness brackets and whatnot, so you at least know who these teams are. But other than that, this is a great time to do Christmas shopping because I mean, who cares about college football, right?
Yeah. I've got some scrambling to do in the next couple of days, so it'll be a nice little break from relevant basketball games.
Oh, don't forget about WinWear Apparel.
Yeah.
WinWearApparel.com. Go check that out.
If you're looking for something for your loved one, I recommend the hockey sweater. It is a fantastic hockey sweater, and it's got that nice gold that I love.
So for our bench behavior, this is what a scene. If you've not seen the Ed Cooley water bottle toss, not what a toss, it was a missile.
There was some steam on that.
Yeah, like throwing some absolute heat. I understand being angry. He was real angry, and it got in the way of a kid. And that didn't go over well with the boss. You know what I mean?
No. Now, forgive me. I'm always devil's advocate here. I want to know what the kid said.
Okay, and let's also not frame Georgetown here as being standing up for that kid. They suspended him for 1 game against Coppin State. They didn't make any sacrifice here. The kid left with probably a broken eye socket because of the way that bottle was launched. Missed the Coppin State game. Go enjoy Christmas. Or what they said. Like it's.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I can't believe it. Like there was we joke, but there was no Cooley was not aiming at that. To my knowledge, was not aiming at that kid.
No.
Like he was just mad and we've all been there and just launched something that half a second after it left his hand, he was like, "Oh no!" But that's just sucks.
But at the same time, I mean, I feel like if you're gonna throw it on the ground or not back into the stands, I mean, there's people behind you. I don't know. I thought that was
In the immortal words of Andy Samberg, I threw it on the ground. Just throw it on the ground.
Yeah. Well, listen, we don't want Coach to throw any bottles at him. I think he's been in the gym. He's been working out, so he's kind of giving us the side eye.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap this one up.
Just be careful who you yell things at when you're at a professional event, because sometimes there's DK Metcalf that comes up and punches you in the jaw.
Yeah, very good.
Be careful
and watch out who you're talking smack to.
Yeah, we'll catch y'all next blowout.
Before we leave, we might need to start changing the catch y'all at the next blowout to catch y'all at the next Michigan game.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a stamp on it right now. Lord,
yeah,
it's terrible.
Sponsored by the Michigan Wolverines.
Hey, take care, y'all.
We can only pray that investigation comes up and they just get out of the season, so nobody has to worry anything about them.
All right, see y'all.